Now, this again is what I learned in the Navy, right? After being raised in Georgia, though. Now, in Georgia, yes, we're a bunch of homophobes. People. We're taught against all that. Especially with what Paul said and what Moses said about it. He called it an abomination, sorry. But he did. I guess it's the concept of you're having sex with something that you go to the bathroom with, and it being disgusting to him. Right? I don't know. And you're not supposed to do it even though you can't. That's what I heard. Right. And I also heard people get raped into it or threatened with murder if you tell them somebody who does it to you, right? I know. And see, then they say, well, that makes you gay. It don't. But whatever. See, you make you gay. Or straight or bi. And see, what Jesus is teaching us is forgiveness and repentance of something like that, right? Now, you can't change if someone is trying to rape you or not, right? But when we're young boys, all of us can behave badly. It's when we become men, we got to put away childish things and start acting more mature about it, right? Now, like I told you, all it is, though, is the flip side of a coin, right? You can either be with a female or a male, right? And occasionally a hermaphrodite. Why that is, I don't know. But what the Bible seems to be suggesting, right, is we ate of some kind of fruit tree or tree's fruit, right, that we weren't supposed to eat of, and that by eating of that tree's fruit, we got the knowledge of good and evil, right? And have been going through tribulation ever since, till now, right? And it's been about 6,000 years or so, 5,857, somewhere in there. Anyway, since all that occurred, right? Which technically ain't even the 6 days to the Lord. But whatever the phrase means, 1,000 years is as a day, and a day is as 1,000 years, right? Kind of makes 1,001 and then 1,000, huh? Kind of sounds like it's equivalency, right? That one day to God is as 1,000 years, right? And 1,000 years is as one day to God. All right, I think 1,000 years is one day, and one day is as 1,000 years to God, right? Well, saying it both ways, ain't it? Right? Now, Moses might kind of confuse you the way he said it, right? He called it as a watch in the night, right? But still said as 1,000 years, right? Are in thy sight, but as a watch in the night, right? And Peter kind of explained that for you. God is not slack as some men, Jews and Gentiles and Christians, right, count slackness, right? But, each day could be as 1,000 years, and one day as 1,000 years back, right? I know. That kind of makes it, what, 1,000 years, 1,000 years. At least. Now, why am I bringing that up? Well, John talks of 10 days of tribulation, right? Well, technically, that would be how many years? 10,000. 10,000, right? Now, some of you are acting like when you die, you got to be ready to die any day. That's true. But, you can die if you, what? Against God. Sin, right? And I think part of that is so that God can at least replenish you if the world's destroyed or not, that's up to us too, right? Over the 10,000 years or days of tribulation, right? Right. And some of you don't want to hear this, right? You switched off your ears to not hear it, right? Yep. And some of you can't even say it. And yet you all seem confused, right, by it. Right. Right. Exactly. Now, I'm going over a passage with you in the Hebrew, where it looks like Moses or someone, Moses, right, is asking a question. Did I conceive all the people? Did I bear them, that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom as a nurse carries an infant to the land that you have promised an oath to their fathers? Well, in the King James Version, it reads a little different. And what Christian Fellowship Church showed me to do is, if you have an interpretation, right, and they differ enough, right, you might have to look up what it means in the Hebrew to understand what it means or is saying in the English, right? And when you do that, oops, see, I know. These things are so fragile today, right? But when you do that, right, you can get a better interpretation of what's said, right? Of course, right? Right. And, here it is in the King James Version, right? It's just tore. Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom as a nursing father beareth the suckling child, unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers. So Moses is a little upset with the people because they keep asking him for water or stuff like that. That naturally you would need when wandering through a wilderness. And he's getting a little upset with them because they keep asking him for these things, right? And yet it seems that when the Lord brings it to them, they forget, right, that it did, right, and does, right? And they get all upset with Moses, blaming him, right, for their choices, right, and that kind of put them there. This is the mentality of either not